He also spoke to Dhruva Maharaj to give him wholesale. Then Manu Maharaj intervened and he gave this advice to Dhruva, now please stop, this is too much. It will simply implicate you in sinful reactions and it will be very inauspicious. Here in the text, the yakshas have been called as Punyajanan. Punyajanan, pious. Although they look like different from human beings, they may not be beautiful, they may have ugly features, and but they are devotees of Lord Shiva, and therefore they are called Punyajanan. By the mercy of Lord Shiva, they are satisfied and living peacefully in their own kingdom, Alakapuri. They are in the under the leadership of Kubera, the treasurer of the demigods. So certainly, they may not be full demigods, full-fledged, but they are called semi-demigods. And they are not hellish as such. They are punyajanan, they have some punya to their credit. So they should never be killed in that manner, even though one of them may have committed a crime, but not all of them. Actually, later on, this punyajanan, the yakshas, they did a lot of great service even to the Vaishnavas, including the Pandavas. If you have read Mahabharata, when there was the project of this horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha, after the battle of Kurukshetra was over, then it was the time for Yudhishthira Maharaj to ascend to the throne. And before that, it was advised by Vedavyas that in order to counteract all the sinful reactions that may have happened during the battle, it would be better to have a yagya, a Swamedha yagya. So everybody agreed, Lord Krishna, the Pandavas, everybody was in favor of that. Let us have a big yagya so that we can be free from this anxiety of killing millions of soldiers, people, unnecessarily. But the Aswamedha Yagya is a very big Yagya. And it involves a lot of money. At that time, the Pandavas, after the battle was over, there was no money. And Yudhishthira Maharaj could not collect from anybody because everybody had lost all their fortune. Whatever they had, it was destroyed or it has been invested in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So certainly nobody was inclined to give any type of donation for this Aswamedha Yagya. So what to do? It is a very costly affair. So they came to understand that formerly there had been a very big yagya in this near Alakapuri, performed by a great king, and all gold had been collected at that time to perform that yagya, and at the end of that yagya it was distributed. But the yakshas were not interested. They know we don't want anything. Nobody would accept any prasadam like that. So much gold was left over from that yagya. And what to do with the gold? So they buried the gold underneath the earth. It was buried for many, many hundreds of years. So Vedavyas told the Pandavas, So you don't have any money. All right. The only solution, you go to Alakapuri, you meet the Yakshas, you meet Kuber, and you meet Lord Shiva also. You have to worship them. You make them happy with you, and you give them your proposal. We'll have a Aswamedha Yagya like that. So all the Pandavas, they went towards Himalayas, Alakapuri, and they worship nicely Lord Shiva, Kuber, Yakshas. Everybody was made happy. They met the Pandavas and they had very good meeting, their conversation. Pandava said, we have come for one purpose. We know you have a lot of gold this year and you are not using that gold. The gold is buried. So we are going to have a Aswamedha Yagya. Please give us your gold and you'll get all the blessings from Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna. You will get all the blessings. So the Yakshas and Kuvera, Lord Shiva, they agreed. All right, take the gold. Take the gold for your Aswamedha Yagya. So very kindly. So here we see that actually this Punyajanan, the Yakshas, Guhyakas, and all these ghostly Bhutaganas, they also are capable to do a lot of pious activities, and even though they may not be so attractive in their bodily features, and sometimes their mind goes little down. But if we can just know how to please them, then they'll be in your favor. I can do so many things in your favor. So the Pandava took the gold. It is said that so much gold was there. And the Pandavas were accompanied by many 1 lakh elephants and camels and horses, thousands and thousands. And all the gold had been excavated from below the earth and loaded on these animals. You can just imagine 1 lakh elephants, how much gold was there. And all this gold was used for the Aswamedha Yagya performed by Pandavas to enthrone Yudhishthira Maharaj as the emperor of the world. So the Yakshas are actually very good people if we can just be a little careful about maintaining good relationship with them. So why should they be killed? Manu Maharaj is telling. They are not guilty of any crime like that. So it is certainly very sinful on your part, talking to Dhruva Maharaj, to kill them wholesale. It is Tamodvarena, it is the gateway to hell. The Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, there are 3 gates leading to hell. Kama, Krodha, Tata, Lobha. Therefore, these 3 negative feelings and emotions, propensities should be given up. Tasmat etat tyajam Tasmat etat trayam tyajet. Therefore, Arjuna, please, you give up these 3 bad qualities. Kama, lust, Krodha, anger, and Lobha, greed. These 3 are coming together, one after another. From Kama comes Krodha. When the lust is not satisfied, then Krodha is coming. Anger. And then Lobha. Lobha, greed. We want to possess. So the conditioned soul in the material world has these 3 negative qualities very prominently in the mind. They want to enjoy, everybody wants to enjoy natural resources. Doesn't matter whether it is anywhere, anything. and if they cannot get what they want, they become angry, and they take the fighting. They want to fight, they want to oppose other elements, and they want to accumulate in this way. So the instinct of enjoyment and possession is very prominent in the material world, and as Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, all the wars that are prominent in the human society are because of these three factors: lust, anger, greed. There are many. One French diplomat from the 19th century, Mr. Talleyrand, he said that what is peace in human society? What is peace? He was very good in history. He knew very well the history of mankind. He said, peace means a small interval between two wars. There's hardly any interval for peace, no time for peace. One war after another, constantly. And the wars are sometimes for very insignificant reason. For instance, in Italy, there are two villages, next to each other. And so that was in the Middle Ages. And in one village, the water well was dry. And the other village, adjacent village, there was still some water in the well. So one person from the first village, he took a bucket and he went to the other village, and took some water from that village, from the well in that village. It was observed by the inhabitants of that village. They became very angry. How dare you are? You don't belong to this village. You belong to the other village. You go there. Why you are coming here to take some water from this well? Doesn't belong to you. So that argument went on, became very serious, and soon all the two villages now came together unitedly, and they fought together, and gradually other neighboring villages and provinces, they all also took part in the fight between these two villages. This war, they're very famous, it is called the 30 Years' War. This war lasted 30 years. For the simple reason of a bucket of water. That is how the war is sometimes very for ridiculous reasons, and it is out of anger and all that. The lower quality of mankind become very prominent. They are not able to control. Nobody can establish peace and so on. No good advice and so on. So it is continuing like this. The First World War in the 20th century, 1914. That is also well known. How did it start? One royal member of the Austria country went for some reason, he was traveling and he was attacked and he was killed outside his country. I forgot, maybe Serbia, adjoining between Austria and Italy, I think Serbia. So he was killed there, one member of the royal family. Oh, then it was very serious. So the country, Austria, Serbia, then gradually adjoining country, they took also, they became united against, and they objected, and the war started. That was the beginning of the First World War, lasting 4 years. And how many people died? 20 millions. One person was killed out of revenge as a consequence, 20 million people were killed. So this is how wars are certainly a curse against mankind, because they are not able to control their senses, their mind, their lower qualities, and so on. So there cannot be peace. That is, Srila Prabhupada emphasized so much about to establish peace in the society. And when people were asking Prabhupada, what is the objective of this Hare Krishna movement, Prabhupada had this in mind, to establish universal peace. And what is the peace formula? That is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhuktaram yagyatapasam sarvalokam aheswaram suridam sarvabhutanam yadvamam shantim rikshati. If peace is to be established, that only is possible by understanding these three things, that Lord Krishna is the only enjoyer. We are not enjoyer. Lord Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities and all that. Whatever pious activity is meant for Lord Krishna's satisfaction. And He is the proprietor of all planets. Not only this planet, all universes. We are not owning anything. This is not our property. Just like how the American people can say, this is our country, America is our country, belongs to us. They migrated from England, from Germany, France, and they settled in America. And then already people were there in America. They, what is called the aborigines. Aborigine means the early settler, those who were living there in America. They were already there. But from Europe, they invaded America, and they claimed, no, this is our country, America is our country, and so on. This is happening everywhere. Similarly, Australia, New Zealand, original inhabitants were there already, but this Australia also migrated from Europe, and they established this is our country. So, Bhaktaram Yagyadabasam Sarva Lokam Aheswaram. I am the proprietor of all countries and all planets, all universes. Krishna is the proprietor. We are not the proprietor. And Suridam Sarvabhutanam. Lord Krishna is the only well-wisher. We are not having that quality of being a well-wishing friend. On the contrary, we are ready at any moment to show our enmity, our envy, our anger, and so on. So that is the difficult dealings between members of human society. They cannot control their lower propensities. So as Prabhupada mentions also in his lectures, and it is well-known fact, that after the First World War was over, the people came together. Oh no, oh, so many people were killed. So let us make friendship between all the countries. They established the League of Nations, Society of Nations, SDN, no? Society of Nations, to make universal friendship between all the countries. And in spite of that, some before 39, then again Second World War. So that first so-called United Nations after the First World War, they could not maintain peace. Again, after Second World War, another 20 million people died, and again they established United Nations. So, and they cannot establish peace because they don't have the formula. So Prabhupada was that was a very important part of the preaching of Srila Prabhupada, that to establish peace, you need a formula. And the formula is given by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, the peace formula should be followed. Otherwise, there is no question of peace anywhere, anytime. So, in this way, Manu Maharaj is giving this most important advice, that you give up that anger. You stop killing, give up anger. It does not befit you, even though you are Kshatriya. As a Kshatriya, according to the Varnashram Dharma, Kshatriyas are under certain rules and regulations allowed to kill. They may go to the forest, they may kill wild animals, and in this way they take some training for fighting in the wars. That is some type of a training. And if there is a war for good reason, Dharma Yuddha, it should not be whimsical. There should be a valid purpose to engage in war. It should be Dharma Yuddha for the good purpose or for the satisfaction of Lord Krishna. Just like the battle of Kurukshetra. That is Dharma Yuddha. We cannot say that any Yuddha is Dharma Yuddha. No. Just like when there was Vietnam War, the American people, they sent their own citizens, they made them soldiers, and they sent them to Vietnam to fight against the Vietnamese people. And they were having that propaganda, making publicity, that God is on our side, as though it is Dharma Yuddha. No, it was not Dharma Yuddha. It is completely concocted. So therefore, it was a failure. Many thousands of people died, and there was no result in favor of America. Many were called to, many of the young people, young generation, they were called by the government, American government, to be sent to war. And what they are doing there, they don't want to fight. They don't have any Kshatriya spirit. They are completely against any type of war. And so they were just taking easy. Even though they were sent to Vietnam, but they were not fighting. They're just keeping their weapons aside. And sometimes they'll go to the nightclub and they'll go here and there and enjoy life. That was their propensity, not fighting. So it's not that everybody is a Kshatriya. Out of 1,000 people average, even now in proportion may be different. But at one time, out of 1,000, one is a Brahmana, 10 are Kshatriyas, 100 are Vaishyas, and the rest, like 990 or so, are Shudras. So the vast majority is Shudra quality, not Kshatriya. Kshatriya is very small minority. So Dhruva is Kshatriya. He has that propensity for fighting, and he can use this for a good purpose. But here the purpose is wrong. That is what Manu Maharaj is telling Dhruva, and in the purport also, Srila Prabhupada is telling that killing is not wrong. Killing is not wrong, but killing for the wrong purpose, that is wrong. We can understand that killing is not bad, but when killing is done unnecessarily, or when an offenseless person is killed, such killing opens the path to hell. So that is the lesson we can get here from this important sloka. Manu Maharaj is the lawgiver. All the Manus, from Swambhuva Manu now to the present day Manu, they are looking after the law and order for the entire universe, giving laws to mankind to follow. So, because it is coming from Manu, it has a special significance and a special importance that the anger, lust, and greed are very dangerous, and we should be always very careful not to feel prone to these three negative propensities. Either we may be devotee also. Devotees also should never get angry against each other or against others. They should always be in a peaceful mind and be always on a conciliatory. If any opposition or any dispute is there, we should keep a very cool mind and having conciliatory purpose, not fighting mood, because it's simply an expression of false ego. I am in right, you are wrong, and so on. So there is no point in going in that direction. It is simply against a spiritual life. If we want to make spiritual advancement, we should always be very careful never to become angry, or the only exception is if somebody blasphemes Lord Krishna or blasphemes a devotee of the Lord, then we can be angry. We should be angry. But that anger also has limits. If the anger has no purpose, doesn't serve any purpose, then it is better to leave the place immediately. We should not associate with such person who is blaspheming. So that is the only case where anger may be shown. Once Narada Muni gave also very good advice to a snake. A snake, the cobra, is very dangerous. It is ready to bite and kill anybody unnecessarily. So Narada Muni got some complaints from people that this snake is very dangerous. He is attacking and he kills so many people. So Narada Muni approached the cobra, the snake. He told him, why you are killing like this? Is it not good? Stop killing. And in this way, the cobra was very much impressed by this advice by Narada Muni. And he just kept himself peacefully in a corner and didn't do anything. He was very peaceful. And then what happened next is that people, they were saying, oh, a snake is there. Take a stick and beat the snake. So the snake didn't want to react against, because he was considering, Narada Muni, no, he told me not to do anything against, not to show any anger and so on. So he was trying to keep himself under control, but so much beating, he got so much beating by the people. So again, Narada Muni came sometime. Then the snake told Narada Muni, see, you have given me a very good advice. I am following that advice. But the people are beating me like anything. They are thinking that I'm a dangerous animal, but I am not harming anybody now. So I'm getting so much beating. So Narada Muni said, okay, you do one thing. You just, show your head. You stand up and you show your head and show your teeth. Don't bite anybody. You just do like this and see the result. So that was a good advice again given by Narada when he saw the snake. Then he did like this. And whenever people were coming to beat him, then he would stand up and show his teeth. Oh, then people were running away. So that was the solution to the problem. So in the material world, these problems are there, and they are there they are there in the past, in the present and future. So we have to adopt some adequate solution in order to face the problems of life. Opposition is there. Even devotees also are meeting opposition. So they have to, just like the snake is standing up and showing teeth, but not more than that. You know? And otherwise it's very peaceful. So sometimes devotees also have to show that actually they are strong and they can retaliate. In this way they should continue their preaching activities and be peaceful in their spiritual life, make advancement for the entire human society. So this is the lesson we can get here from this sloka. Oh, it's already time. Later on there will be a lecture on the Govardhan Puja, the importance of Govardhan Leela. So I'll just stop here now, and later on we can gather and worship Govardhan and hear the lecture. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any other questions? Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.